Well, we find ourselves today in the end of an era. Hmm. I am I am quite glad that all of our that our viewers understand the importance of this to me, because it is not always obvious, perhaps to one of to some of our newer viewers, or to some of our lapsed viewers, how my dynamic is with everyone, right? And I think today will, at least the outpouring of support and understanding and just shared grief, I think, is a very it shows that, underneath all of the insults, the fun, the blatant character assassinations, everyone is actually quite nice to each other, and that makes me really happy, right? A server of mildly united people. And so today I just want to talk a little bit about, we're not going to do the full half hour today, because it feels disrespectful to do so today of all days. We will resume tomorrow just as well, no problem about that. But today I am unable to do so. Is there no? There is streaming. I've said this twice, and I'll say it one more time. We are at the end of an era, aren't we? And it is very much. There's a bus in the way. It is very much the end of an era. It is the end of, I think, the post-war order. I mean, lots of people have talked about this kind of thing lots and lots of times, but it very much is the end, at least to me, of the post-war order. And I've talked about it sort of briefly and on and off over the past, between yesterday and today. But Queen Elizabeth II really was a marker, right, for for the way that society had evolved since the end of the Second World War. And there is really no better way of describing it. Oh, I had talked about it as an Elizabethan era, and I stand by that, right? I think that from her ascension in 1952 to 2022, as we are today, is really, I will stand by this. I will stand by this. The second Elizabethan era, and it's an era of mildly shared prosperity. Oh, that stitching is just terrible. Where even are we? Oh, we're over there. Okay. Can we go? Going inside. This is not what I was looking for, but that's okay. Yeah, so Queen Elizabeth took the throne at the end of World War II. Well, obviously World War II ended in 1945, 45-ish, 49 if you're Chinese, well, 50 something if you're Chinese. And really, the aftermath of the war were only cleared up 10 years later, right? So 1952 is just as well the beginning of a new era as 1945 or 49, what have you, any of those. And for her to have passed away this year when war comes again to Europe is I appreciate the some of our viewers bringing up the fact that, you know, yes, peace in sort of the developed world has happened and has been kept relatively firmly in place over the Cold War and, you know, after the end of history in the 1990s. Whoever said that remains, in my view, one of the most ridiculous people in the world. But as a species, as a civilization, as individual cultures, the reign of Elizabeth II was the most significant forward move for our species since fire. Or since her great-great-grandmother, at the very least, right? Between Victoria and Elizabeth, two longest reigning monarchs in English history, they have witnessed the greatest changes in human civilization and in the ability for humanity to meet the new world with facts, numbers, engineering, scientific rigor. All of that comes between Victoria and Elizabeth. But really, to me, because the Victorian age was not peaceful. It was an age of revolution. It was an age of anarchy. And in some ways, the reign of Elizabeth II was, even with the great power rivalries that existed in the Cold War, it was more peaceful for a greater amount of people than the Victorian era was, right? We've had great atrocities during her reign. We've had upheaval, yes, we've had revolution, but there was much more peace as a percentage per capita during the reign of Elizabeth II than there was during the reign of Victoria. And to me, that's just, yeah, that defines Her Majesty's reign to me. That it was one where human civilization has really come into its own, where by far greater number of people have had access to education, have had access to quality of care. Of course, there are troubles remaining. Of course, the world has, taken a turn. And that's what makes it poignant, right? The fact that her passing is in this year, both when for really right after COVID-19, the quality of life indicators that we have started coming back down again. And there's now war in Europe. War that is really technologically between quote-unquote great powers, right? where the technology of war is now once again being pushed forward at the expense of other kinds of technology. And I keep coming back to this, this idea that her reign really was bookended by human suffering, and and so I consider her reign to have been a period of peace, prosperity, and really evolution for the human civilization. And I sincerely hope, and most of you can't see this, but I'm doing this whole thing where I'm pointing at my table and like trying to make a point. And those of you who work with me will know what I mean when I do that. But it is the end of an era, and it does mean that not only it's I understand, yes, I understand it's purely symbolic, absolutely, 100%, it's purely symbolic, but that doesn't mean it's not the end of an era. Yes, we'll move somewhere else. I don't even know what this is. Was this during a fashion show? Well, obviously it was during a fashion show, but yes. So, not to get derailed, the importance of the symbolism of Queen Elizabeth II, Her Majesty, Empress of India, whatever, all that good stuff, is, at least to me, it is unparalleled. It is simply one of those things that is. Was I here already? Were we here? Can we go that way? We can't go any further that way. Okay, let's go this way. It's just a way of demonstrating that as a society, that we still have a lot of work to do, and that even a little bit of decadence can cause a relapse in our ability to push society and civilization forward, right? The mission of civilizing the world has never finished, and no matter what kind of wars we've had, the idea of civilization has evolved, and so the mission of civilizing the world has to evolve with it. In the Victorian era, it was a British gentleman, projecting the power of the empire, colonialism, so bringing European values, whatever they may have been, to the rest of the world and imposing it on the rest of the world. That was the Victorian era. But in the Elizabethan era, the second Elizabethan era, the mission of civilizing the world has evolved to, and I know there will be some who probably find this a little bit off-putting, but of inclusion, right? Of being able to accept that there is value to every human, and from a purely, so personally, from a purely capitalist perspective, I would argue that it's just better for profits if we accept that there is value in every human. And I appreciate that. That's an interesting way of expressing this. But as a capitalist, I believe very firmly that to maximize revenue and to maximize profits and potential and efficiency, that we should embrace the fact that every human is valuable. All right, and and I am getting mildly off topic, but I very firmly believe that is one of the hallmarks of the advance during the Elizabethan era, the second Elizabethan era. Because during the first Victorian era, of course, we had that first push for civilization, and we will be playing the crap out of Victoria 3 when it comes out. obviously. But to me, the second Elizabethan era is really, it's not so much about the queen herself, but about the way that we as a species, we as a civilization have pushed ourselves forward, have given ourselves the more opportunity than we have ever had before in our history. And for us to forget that is tragic too. For us to forget that is tragic, and I wish with her passing that, already tragic, but that it will remind us that she presided over an era of civilizing the world in a way that we have never done before, of developing the world in a way that we have never seen before in our lives, and of bringing so many people out of poverty that it is never before has that happened. And I hope that we can continue to do so, right, going forward. And really that is the meaning of Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II, God bless the Queen, means to me. And yeah. Thank you to our year one students, and to at least a few of the cliques for your for your vocal support, at least. To some of our other cliques who are present, I've seen them present and have not said anything, for your demurrament. Yes. Yeah, we are entering a new era, right? And I think the most important part is that we never forget what happened for human society, by human society, civilization, for human civilization, during the reign of Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II. And I think we will end it here for today. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and I guess watching this the fashion gallery. No, regular services will resume tomorrow, where we will be playing a tourism. But that's it for today. Thank you very much. Bye now.